Call the regular town board meeting of November 17th, 2016 to order. Visitors are invited to join board members in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Councilwoman Barnum.
Here.
Councilwoman Hush-LeRae.
Here.
Councilman Perticone.
Here.
Councilman Weiner.
Here.
Supervisor Seeley.
Here.
And attorney for the town.
Here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening, everyone. We have a moderately long agenda tonight and some pre-agenda items that we always like having in the beginning of our meeting, and it's good to see so many friends here tonight. A few remarks before we get started. Most of you know we were busy here at the end of October, particularly October 29th. The town held its first ever Fall Invigorate Irondequoit event. We called it Raking a Difference, and did we ever rake a difference? We had over 250 volunteers here at Town Hall, young and old, helping roughly hundreds of seniors with their fall leaf raking. It was a very memorable day. It shows our town really values volunteerism, civic engagement, and really couldn't have been happier with the participation and execution, and it's something we'll certainly look to continue on in the fall and throughout. But I just want to thank the residents, the staff, and all the sponsors who helped out with that. This board room was busy the past few weeks, and I'll just note we had roughly, I think, several third grade classes from West Irondequoit here paying a visit to Town Hall, sitting where the audience is sitting, and they got to be sworn in as honorary town board members. We got to pass some resolutions, but most importantly, they got to learn how town government works and the importance of local government. And Councilman Perticone helped out on a few days, and it was very nice, and we loved having them here. They got to visit the police department. I don't think they got put in jail, but I warned them when they were in front of me that they needed to behave or else I'd call chief. And they got to visit the library as well. And one thing I will say, they like that new library. But thank you to the third graders for paying me a visit. This past Friday, we joined our friends at American Legion Post 134 for our annual Veterans Day ceremony, which is always a treat here at Town Hall. It was a beautiful day, and probably more people I've ever seen around the Veterans Memorial outside next to the town library. And we thank all of our veterans in Irondequoit and beyond, and it was a nice day. And Veterans Day, we remember their sacrifices, what we really should year-round, but Veterans Day really brings it home. I'll note the town of Irondequoit's happy to be participating in the Willow Domestic Violence Center Purple Box campaign. The Purple Box toy drive helps the holidays, and it helps Willow provide the gift of hope and healing to children throughout the holiday season. Boxes can be found on the second floor of Town Hall, in the police department, and at the library, and we encourage you to bring toys, children's clothing, winter clothing, etc. I know Chief Tantello has been very much supportive of Willow. This is a little bit more passive. Last month he walked a few miles in high heel shoes. This is a little easier. But we encourage residents. It's always good to give back in the holidays. This is a good opportunity and really will bring a joy to a lot of kids living under tough circumstances. And the folks at Willow Domestic Violence Center really do really great work, and we're happy to continue to support them. The town is seeking applications from the community for what we expect to be 3 positions for the Irondequoit Library Board of Trustees. The town is expecting to appoint the members of the board at our December meeting. We are accepting applications that can be sent either a letter and resume to Town Hall or email to supervisor@irondequoit.org. The trustees actually play a very integral role in managing the library. It's a citizen board that handles the operations and oversight of the library, so it's actually very important, and we look forward to receiving a number of qualified applicants throughout the community. Irondequoit offers a leaf drop-off program. Residents can drop leaves off in paper bags at Camp Eastman on Lakeshore Boulevard from now until December 18th until dawn and dusk. The leaves will be composted and offered back to residents next year. I'll note the winter parking ordinance is back. So just be mindful that there's no parking on town roads or right-of-ways from November 1st to April 15th between the hours of midnight and 9 a.m. A few things to mark your calendar with. Sunday, December 4th at 4 p.m., the town will hold its annual holiday tree lighting ceremony, and we'll kick off the holidays by lighting the tree, have plenty of family-friendly activities and entertainment. And we've scheduled our third annual Town Winterfest, which will be held Saturday, January 28th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And as is the case every year, the festival will be bigger than the previous one, and hopefully there'll actually be winter weather this year. Last year we had about 60 degrees, and we had plenty of great things to do, but no snow on the ground. And as you were driving in, you might have seen the hockey rink being constructed. It's about twice the size as last year. We're going to offer skate rental. We're going to try and facilitate some hockey games as well. We're really trying to make that better for the residents. And I will note, much to your chagrin, the town offices will be closed on Thanksgiving, November 24th, as well as the following day, November 25th, a Friday. And we wish everyone a very safe and happy holiday. That commences my remarks. I will just say, and we don't like to mix electoral mention in the room, but I just would like to thank the people of the town last week for their expression of support in the election. It was humbling to be chosen by the board as supervisor several months ago, and to receive the vindication from the residents. It's even more humbling, and the work continues, and we have much work to do, but it was a very proud day, and I just wanted to thank the residents. And I don't know if, Pete, you wanted to add anything?
Just like to echo Dave's comments. I really appreciate the support we received, and I can't do it without everyone here, and I do appreciate the appointment to the board, and I'm ready, willing, and hopefully able to fulfill my duties here on the town board. Again, I'm very appreciative.
Very good. Thank you, Peter. And I'll now invite the board members to join me up at the podium for a few activities before our agenda. Okay, we have the pleasure tonight of swearing in a new police officer to the Arundecoit Police Department. We had 2 new officers sworn in last month, and happy to bring another bright and talented young individual to our wonderful police force. And I'll note we're going to pass our 2017 budget later, and I'm happy it continues to make investments in the police department. And really, we add a police officer, so the board will continue to value the contributions and the need for a robust and strong police department in town. And we're happy to bring along Luke Perot tonight, and I will turn it over to Chief Tantillo.
Thank you very much. It's certainly a pleasure to be here for this very memorable occasion. But I do want to thank the Arundecoit Town Board for acting very quickly to always fill the vacancies that exist within the Arundecoit Police Department, and certainly after tonight's board meeting, adding to the very valuable service that the Arundecoit Police Department provides to this community, and we're grateful to work in such a very supportive community. That's demonstrated by the number of red shirts you see here tonight. I think there's more red shirts than blue shirts. I don't know, I got a little worried there. But if I could please have Luke Perot come forward with his family. And I'll just give a brief introduction. Luke is from the town of Arundecoit. He's worked at Harriman's Marketplace, which is very supportive of our community, and the ownership there, Jack Harriman, has always been very supportive of the town of Arundecoit, the St. Paul Fire Department, and he certainly demonstrates an excellent work ethic. Luke was also a student intern here for the Arundecoit Police Department, and we had the pleasure to meet and work with him on a number of occasions, and subsequently he became a part-time employee for our agency and did an exceptional job in a variety of capacities, mostly affiliated with the Community Services Unit. So his sense of community and giving back is very strong and made him a very valuable candidate for this position. Luke attended Arundecoit High School and graduated from Arundecoit High School as well as Oswego College. He graduated from the Rural Police Training Academy in March of 2016, That gave him the opportunity to accept a position here so that we can backfill our third and final vacancy due to some retirements that had occurred. He has successfully completed his field training program. He is a child passenger safety technician in addition to being obviously a patrol officer, and he is currently assigned to everyone's favorite platoon. I've said that 3 times so far this year. He is currently assigned to Midnights, which works from 9:45 p.m. to 5:45 a.m. So congratulations, Mr. Supervisor.
The Bible is right there. Luke, who's going to hold the Bible? I'm going to be in the middle of you. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand. Okay, and repeat after me. I, Luke Perot, do solemnly swear that I will defend the Constitution of the United States and of the State of New York. I will enforce all of the laws of the State of New York and the town of Arundecoit. I will fulfill the duties of the rank of police officer to the best of my ability. I will serve, protect, and guide the citizens of the town of Arundecoit. I will obey all orders, rules, and regulations of the Arundecoit Police Department. Officer Perot, congratulations. Welcome to the Arundecoit Police Department.
We just have to sign the document.
I'll just say a few words. First, I'd like to thank Supervisor Seeley and the town board. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Next, I'd like to thank the chief, the entire staff of the Arundecoit Police Department for giving me this great opportunity. It really does mean a lot. Becoming an Arundecoit police officer has been a goal of mine for quite a few years now. As the chief said, starting off as an intern, moving up to a part-time employee, and now finally achieving my goal of becoming a full-time police officer. I was born and raised in Arundecoit. I love where I come from. I'm proud of where I come from. I'm very privileged and honored to serve in this capacity, to give back to this town what it did give to me. I'd also like to take this time to thank my parents, Joe and Carol, and my sister, unfortunately, who couldn't be here tonight. They've given me all the tools and everything I need in order to be as successful as I have been up until this point in my life, and given me a foundation. I really do thank them for their love and support and everything that I've done so far. I look forward to a long, prosperous career here as an Arundecoit police officer, and again, I thank you all for this opportunity. Thank you.
It's always a very touching ceremony, and it's it's very poignant, and it's always great to see the family members of the officer getting sworn in. And I look out and I see 2 very proud parents. So congratulations to you both. You raised a good one. Yes, and now we have the signing of the real oath. So we
Thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. We try to every month do something in our town known as the Good Neighbor Award. Last year we had last month we had 2 Good Neighbor Awards that we handed out, really for remarkable people who are residents who have done terrific things, either at one moment in time that we recognized of a good person or something that was more long-standing. Tonight I have the pleasure of giving this award, and the board giving this award, to someone who has really, especially over the past, I guess since I've known him, the past several years, done a lot to really build a stronger community, and first help build a stronger neighborhood that he lives in, but then really take what he did in his own neighborhood and help us build an even stronger town. Brad Huber is a resident of Chelsea Avenue or Chelsea Road? Chelsea Road, excuse me. By many accounts, and he is known as the mayor of Winona Woods. He's former president of the Winona Woods Neighborhood Association, which I don't believe he founded, but really reactivated and revitalized. Brad's done remarkable things as a neighborhood member, but he every day serves the children of the city of Rochester. He's a teacher at East High School, which is by no means an easy position, and he teaches with a passion, I know, but he brings that same passion to helping build a stronger neighborhood. He's a member of the town planning board. He's done remarkable things in the area of historical preservation. He was awarded the 2016 Landmark Society Special Citation Award for his enthusiastic support of preservation planning and neighborhood advocacy. But just let me say what you find in Winona Woods, and then I'll talk about what he's done for the town. If you go to Winona Woods, you see a great neighborhood, just like all the neighborhoods, but what you see is a huge sense of community. You see neighbors meeting with one another, doing things with one another. In every way, it's our picture of what a strong neighborhood should be. And I think the people who live there feel better about where they live because of the strong sense of community in there. And it's something that we've tried to model for the rest of the town. And during his summer vacation, knowing it was upcoming, and in my first few months, I had a few conversations with Brad about how we might replicate that Winona Woods model to the rest of the town. And we had the idea of working to form and help provide the infrastructure of the town to build other neighborhood associations. And Brad really took that project and ran with it. And we went from roughly 2, maybe 3 formal neighborhood associations, and I think now we're approaching 13 or 14 in town. There's few geographic areas in town now that don't have a neighborhood association either forming or formed in some concrete manner. And it's very important, I think, to the community, and I think that work that Brad did will really have a lasting impact on the town. So I'm going to invite Brad up. He's no stranger. Come on up, Brad. It's my honor, my pleasure, to award a very good Irondequoit resident, Bradley Huber, with the Irondequoit Good Neighbor Award. Congratulations, Brad.
I've always wanted one of these. I have a habit of watching these meetings on Facebook Live, and I've always wanted one. And so, this award means an awful lot to me because it comes from the people in my town, and it comes from my neighbors, and it comes from my friends, and that is a really special. That's why we do what we do. So thank you for those who nominated me, and thanks for all of the community support. I couldn't have done it. We couldn't have done it without that. So thank you.
Very good. He's starting to get all these big awards. I felt we needed to, make sure he got an award in the town. And last, before we go to our agenda, later in the meeting, we're going to be passing a resolution accepting a gift to help us complete or really finish the new town baseball complex. When we started this, it was 3 fields, and that was largely because of generosity from the community, some business owners, our state legislators contributing and securing some grants, and ultimately it's allowed us to turn 3 fields now into a complete complex that will have dugouts, a concession stand, really everything you think about a baseball field, and these kids will really have a delight and a pleasure for years to come to play on. Something I confess I never had growing up. The fields growing up in Arundequoit probably, I'm very envious of these children now as I see them playing on these fields. So as I think of my dad and I raking Iroquois before a game, making sure it was playable. Playable was the key word. But in addition to that, the Arundequoit Rotary Club provided us with a very generous gift that will allow us to put 2 scoreboards up in the outfield, and that's probably completes it, right? And these kids will have such a joy and such a wonderful experience as they play on these fields. And we really secured funding from so many different avenues, and the community has been so generous for this, so that the Rotary participated in this and showed their generosity. I couldn't be more grateful, and I think the children are grateful as well, and they'll realize it more as they grow old. But they're really going to have a terrific experience. So I'd like to invite the Rotary up. And let's give the Rotary a round of applause, please. We don't have a certificate, but Terry, would you like to come up and speak?
Sure.
Terry Corrigan-Bastick from the Rotary.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. It's going to be our 50th anniversary next year, and so we were looking for a project, and what better project than to complete the Field of Dreams with the 2 scoreboards. So it's not a big check, but it's well
Is this
over,
the real check?
This is the real check.
Don't let me lose this.
I know. But well over $10,000
Thank you very
towards the
much.
scoreboard. So
Thank you.
Yep.
And we'll make sure we do it. Once again, thank you. Let's pose for a picture.
None of us are tall. That's wise.
Terry, why don't you get in the middle here? Yes. Very nice. Thank you.
Watch the cord, yeah. Oh, thank you.
The room clears up.
Okay, we will now move on to public input. I'll note we have a public hearing scheduled for a measure at 7:35, which we'll move to, but we have one person signed up for public hearing, but as always, if you didn't sign up, you're welcome to come address the board after whoever signed up speaks. And I just ask when you come up, please say your name and your address. First to sign up is Tanya Foster. Ms. Foster? Hello?
Hello, Tanya Foster, 516 Seneca Road. I had an occasion to call 911 at 1:30 in the morning on Thursday, October 20th. And I was woken from a deep sleep, and I couldn't exactly explain what woke me up to the 911 operator, but I had a gut feeling something wasn't right. And I ended up interacting with Brian Morgan, and it led to a bizarre chain of events where a car had crashed over a hill next to my property. And it took a couple hours to unravel this mystery, but I'm here because in the course of this evening, I ended up meeting Brian Morgan, Justin Jagoda and Dominique Pronti. And I wanted to say that they were very professional and very amicable. And I know there's been a lot of negative attention in the media about the police for a while. And I know there's bad apples in every profession. But I wanted to make sure that the chief of police knew that these three police officers were such good people, and I wanted to give credit where credit's due. So again, their name was Brian Morgan, Justin Jacoda, and Dominique Pronti. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you.
Very,
Thank you.
very nice. Thank you very much. We'll make sure those are put, the officers are made aware of that as well. Anyone else in the audience that wishes to address the board? Okay, very good. We will now move on to our financial report. Comptroller Seeley.
Thank you. The 2016 financial results for the town as of October 31st. Total expenditures and encumbrances, $25,716,000, 74.9% of budget, lower than the 83.3% of the year that has elapsed. The variance is comprised of $24,352,000 of actual expenditures, along with $1,365,000 of encumbrances. The encumbrances are reasonable at 4% of budget, as departments still, to a degree, are committing to commodities, supplies, and services for this year. Expenses in the general fund are 74% of budget, $14,920,000 below the percent of the year that has elapsed. The breakdown for the general fund expenses are the actual expenditures, $14,283,000 and $637,000 of encumbrances. The highway fund expenses of $4,285,000 have dipped below the percent of the year that has elapsed at 81.5%. As mentioned in a previous meeting, contributing to this favorable effect is an unencumbrance of fuel cost in Highway 1 due to the lower than budgeted fuel prices. In spite of the overall favorability in highway, notable encumbrances still remain for gas, fuel, and asphalt in Highway 1, vehicle maintenance, equipment parts, and debt service in Highway 3, and salt in Highway 4. The library expenses are $1,834,000 below budget at 80.1%. And as indicated in prior reports, included in the library expenses is a debt service costs for the library bond anticipation note. The sewer fund has expended $3,059,000, 70.8% of budget. Stormwater drainage is under budget at 58.5% of budget. The total expenses there are $707,000. As of the end of October, the general fund has recorded $15,913,000 of revenue, which equates to 80.7% of budget. I'd like to recap the major general fund revenue received to date. The total real estate tax of $10.6 million was received earlier in the year. The pilot revenue is all in at $193,000, pilot payment in lieu of taxes. Sales tax of $1,478,000 represents 5 months of revenue. That amount equates to 40.1% of budget. 25% of mortgage tax, or $180,000, remains unchanged and represents only 3 months of activity. In September, the town received the total annual per capita state aid of $613,000 and 53.3% of the franchise cable TV revenue of $373,000. The recreation program fees is favorable to budget at 94.4% for an amount of $283,000. An item of note today we received the third quarter sales tax revenue, $1,058,000, and that amount will be captured in next month's report. The total town summary after 10 months. Total revenue for the town is $28.3 million, or 86.2% of budget. The real estate taxes across funds are $16.5 million, and they are all in. The library has received 98.3% of revenue, a sum of $2,249,000. Highway has recorded 92.5% of its revenue, $4,855,000, and sewer has collected over 100% of budget at this point, $4.3 million, which equates to 100.9% of budget. This concludes my financial report for October 2016.
Thank you, Annie. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, can I have a motion to accept the financial report?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
And all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Report is accepted. Madam Clerk?
Approval of minutes, October 13, the workshop meeting.
Can I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Minutes are accepted.
October 18, 2016, the budget workshop meeting.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
October 19, 2016, the budget workshop meeting.
A motion and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved.
October 20th, 2016, the regular town board meeting.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. Okay, we're going to skip over the public hearing as it is not yet, it's not yet 7:35. Madam Clerk, please go to agenda item 2.
Item number 2, calling for a public hearing on the matter of granting a special use permit to convert commercial space into a multifamily apartment building on premises at 2012 East Ridge Road in a C business district.
May I have a motion
Moved.
and a second?
Second.
Director Ivers, an explanation, please.
The special use permit is required on this property. It's zoned C business, and in that area, in order to have a multi-family development as part of a project or an existing development, you need a special use permit from this board. The building is an existing two-story structure that in the past it had retail on the lower floor, the first floor, and residential on the second, and the proposal is to convert the building to a two-family or two-dwelling unit structure. The parcel is comprised of a few commercial-related businesses, and so this is an existing building. Just a
Thank you. And I'll note that this calls for a public hearing that will take place on December 15th, 7:35 p.m. at our regular town board meeting. Any questions or comments for Ms. Ivers? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 3, authorizing the adoption of a model unified solar permit for residential and commercial properties.
May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Ms. Kelly, an explanation, please?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Yes, currently our town code, predates solar, solar energy, and our current permitting structure really does not address that of a solar permit. So this would allow us to do so for both residential and commercial, and this this is in keeping with the town's commitment to becoming a more sustainable environment.
Thank you. And I will note that the town is in the process of applying with the New York State Energy Research Development Authority for a designation known as Clean Energy Communities, and this will is one of the requirement that can satisfy accepted into that, but certainly regardless of that, something worthwhile doing as we continue to encourage more residential and commercial solar installations. And because of the streamlined process that this affords, it results in a lower amount of staff time and as such a lower permit cost for the applicant. So it's a good thing, making it more efficient. It acts as an incentive as a result. Any questions or comments?
Glad to see it.
No, very good. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
It is now 7:35.
Okay, very good. May I have go ahead, Madam Clerk.
Item 11, PH 2016-1, on the matter of extending the Consolidated Sanitary Sewer District to include 512 List Avenue.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to open the hearing?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is open. We don't have anyone signed up to address this particular resolution or this proposed sewer connection, but at this time, anyone in the audience may wish to come forward to speak at this public hearing. Going once, going twice. Okay, can I have a motion to close the hearing?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing is closed. We will now move on to the resulting resolution. Madam Clerk?
Authorizing the extension of the Consolidated Sewer District to include 512 List Avenue.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. Kiley, forgive me, I didn't ask for an explanation previously. Can you just give an explanation of the resolution?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. It was last month that we called for the public hearing with regard to the extension of the Consolidated Sewer District to the property located at 512 List Avenue. This is a Type 2 action pursuant to seeker. Therefore, there is no further review needed for this action. This would extend, this homeowner would connect into the existing sanitary sewer system located on List Avenue, therefore abandoning their septic system and joining the Consolidated Sewer District.
Very good. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 4, accepting a gift from Arundequoit Rotary Club for the baseball fields at 117 Kings Highway North.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
And a second. Thank you, Ms. Barnum. This was discussed pre-meeting. This is the resolution that accepts the gift from Arundequoit Rotary to allow us to purchase 2 scoreboards for at the Arundequoit Little League Complex. It is, we're very grateful for it, as we mentioned, and will allow us to continue to build that facility out. Mr. Kiley, anything to add to that?
The total value of this contribution from the Rotary Club of Arundequoit is $11,479.60.
Thank you, very much appreciated. And Madam Comptroller, you can confirm that I gave you the check?
Yes.
Still have the check? The check will be deposited tomorrow? Very good. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 5, authorizing the supervisor to enter into an agreement with the Arundequoit Athletic Association for field use at 117 Kings Highway North.
Motion
Moved.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you, Deputy Supervisor. I'll speak on this briefly, then I'll let Bob get into a little bit further detail. As we constructed these Little League fields, we were approached by Arundequoit Little League, Arundequoit Athletic Association Incorporated, about having some sort of memorandum of agreement or agreement that would have a reciprocal effect that would allow them not exclusive use of the field, but in effect the right of first refusal and allow them to serve as the primary user. Now, in return, Arundequoit Little League has agreed to do substantial maintenance of the field and assist the town with capital upgrades to the complex, for which we are grateful. And I'll let Bob speak a little further. I'll just note that one thing I've been very impressed with is the sophistication and professionalism of Arundequoit Little League, and the league has grown exponentially throughout town. There's so many kids that participate in it, but it is so well organized, and of course it is because Little League Baseball is one of the largest organizations in the world. But even at the local level, it's run very professionally, and it's been very a pleasure to work with Little League on this, and we are grateful. And we are joined tonight by Brian Gardenier, the Vice President of Operations, and is that Dave Calarco? Dave Calarco, who's the President of Little League. So the fact you have a President and a VP of Operations for Little League really shows how sophisticated and really professional they are, and ultimately what that affords is the kids to be able to play the game and them to play it often and on a terrific field. So we're grateful for that. Bob, anything to add?
Yes, I really just want to echo your comments, Supervisor Seeley, regarding Little League in general. During the construction of the baseball fields at 117 Kings Highway North, when questions would arise on the dimensions for, really the home base areas for any one of the fields to the footages between the bags, it really... being able to pick the phone up and get some quick intel from Little League was extremely helpful for myself during this construction project. The agreement would allow really Little League to have the first right of refusal for the fields here at 117 Kings Highway North. They'd be able to call it their home field, their home turf, so to speak. The Department of Public Works would mow the fields, maintain the field, drag them, maintain the parking lot, etc. And the Little League, the Arundecoit Athletic Association Incorporated, would provide some capital improvements to the actual facility themselves, and potentially maintenance of, different structures if they became in disrepair. So. Really a win-win for this community, and very excited to put this agreement to the town board tonight.
And thank you, Commissioner. And the term of the agreement is from 1/1/2017 to a year after that. It's a one-year agreement?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments? I'll just note again, there are other potential users, and we will certainly provide flexibility, and Little League has been good about understanding that, but ultimately we want, if they are the primary user in town, we want them to be able to use this as their home field, and I think this is a very good thing for the town, and in some ways formalizes a good partnership with our Little League, and it's good that we stay connected with all of our youth sports organizations, and we continue to work with them as we enhance our recreational facilities, and we're grateful to IAA for this. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it.
Item number 6, authorizing the updated Camp Eastman security deposit fee.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Deputy Commissioner Sinton, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is Phase 1 of a review and update of the fee schedule for Camp Eastman, specifically the security deposit. The current security deposit of $175 is taken 2 weeks before the event date, and only by check or money order. Many people have come to us saying they can't afford it on the top of the rental fee, and they don't reserve. As a result, one of our rec supervisors surveyed surrounding towns, 8 to be exact. 3 do not require security deposits at all, 5 do. The average is $50, so this is what we are attempting to do to bring, to bring ours more in line with other communities.
Thanks, Don. Any questions or comments?
I'd just like to thank the staff for taking the initiative to do that, follow through on it and check other towns and make it easier for our residents. That's fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, we like to stay competitive, and part of that is knowing our competition, so I do appreciate Don and your staff for the due diligence here. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 7, correcting Town Board Resolution 2016-260 regarding roadway names and lengths on the 2016 local highway inventory.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
We now move on to the longest resolution of my tenure here, and I will now ask Commissioner Kiley for a brief explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This resolution corrects a resolution that we passed at last month's board meeting. After a visit with some state DOT officials, we wanted to amend and include several other roadways throughout the town into the local highway inventory, in addition to clarify some points for state DOTs regulatory purposes. So in essence, this adds approximately 5 miles to the local highway inventory, which those center line miles are directly attributed to the dollar value we get in our capital highway improvement dollars. So with the additional 5 miles that will be added to the local highway inventory, we can expect some more state dollars to come through, which we will be able to use for paving services.
Do you have an approximation of the state funding increase? I know it's always subject to the legislature, but given the current formula, any idea?
The
Ballpark?
current formula, it's roughly about $12,000,
Very good.
and that would be annually.
Yeah, and I kid with Bob, but this is a lot of due diligence went into this, very thorough in identifying these new roadways, and it's important because $12,000 is not insignificant. So we're grateful to you, Bob, and the staff for taking this task on. Any questions or comments for the commissioner?
Not an insignificant effort.
Very good. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 8, authorizing the 2017 special events calendar.
Motion? Moved. And a second?
Second?
Pretty self-explanatory here. We are required by law to have a listing of all of our special events, and this includes all of the many wonderful things that take place on Town Hall and otherwise that the town sponsors. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 9, entering into various contracts with vendors for the town's 2017 Winterfest celebration.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you. This is, as we move forward, as I discussed earlier, Winterfest is scheduled this year for January 28th, and this resolution authorizes all the various contracts for the many vendors and the growing number of vendors we have at Winterfest. And I will note that the board had the opportunity to review the various contracts at our workshop meeting held last week, November 10th, and we look forward to a very fun-filled day. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 10, declaring old audiovisual and related equipment to be surplus property and authorizing its sale or disposal.
Motion? Moved. And a second.
Second.
Thank you. This resolution is actually part of our larger effort to clear our basement of many old equipment that has become obsolete and is not used, and as such, we need to declare it surplus. This will allow Mr. Stone to have more room to operate ICAT down there, and I'm looking at the list of items we're giving away, and some are probably from the 90s, so I'm glad we're clearing it out. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 11, authorizing the purchase of audiovisual equipment and supplies to be used by Arundecoit Cable Access Television.
Got a motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Mr. Stone is downstairs filming the meeting. Thank you, Nate. I will explain on his behalf. This comes from money appropriated in the 2016 budget for upgrades, capital upgrades to ICAT. I'll note that this is being purchased off a Rockland County contract, as we're allowed to do. It's for various audiovisual and photography equipment. Mr. Stone and his crew do a very good job down at ICAT. We're really, I would say, the finest cable access television station around. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live, it's just one of the many ways that we utilize technology to enhance our ability to connect and inform our residents and make sure we are transparent in government. So we're always happy to make necessary upgrades. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 12, authorizing the purchase of 2 servers and the accompanying software and services for the town of Arundecoit.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you, John. Mr. Atkins, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is for the purchase of 2 servers and the accompanying software in an attempt to modernize the entire core infrastructure of the town of Arundecoit. This is part of the finality of the upgrades necessary to make this a nice, solid network that we work on daily.
Thanks, Rashad. And I'll note this is purchasing of equipment that was authorized in last month's board meeting. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Number 13, authorizing the purchase of a data storage device for the town of Arundecoit.
Motion, please.
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Mr. Wayner wins. Rashad?
Thanks again, Mr. Supervisor. Today's servers work in two parts. You have the server unit that does all the computing, and then you have the storage unit, which saves all the data. So this purchase here is for simply the storage unit of the two that work in tandem.
Thank you, Rashad. And I'll note these are long overdue upgrades to our infrastructure here at Town Hall. It's in plainest terms, it will make us more efficient here, and the utilization of technology is now inherent in any workplace, government especially, and it is long overdue and I think a much worthwhile investment to make. Any questions or comments?
Just that I had the pleasure of working for an afternoon with Rashad and his department, and granted I didn't understand half of what he was telling me, just totally blown away about the amount of work you've done and progress you've made. So
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Councilwoman. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 14, authorizing the purchase of two 2017 Ford Utility Police Interceptor all-wheel drive vehicles.
Motion,
and the
please. Oh, excuse me,
associated
Barb.
appropriation transfer within the 2016 Police Department budget.
My apologies, Madam
That was-
Clerk. May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
Thank you, John. Chief, explanation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. This is for two vehicles to be added to the Arundecoit Police Department fleet. They were put out for bid. The lowest bidder was Van Bortle Ford. The vehicles, one is currently in the existing 2016 budget to be able to make that purchase. The second one is coming from insurance recoveries as a result of a total loss, and with those revenues, we're able to purchase two vehicles for our fleet.
Thank you, Chief. Any questions or comments? I'll note this continues, I think, a strong commitment over the past 3 years of upgrading our fleet, and I know the officers appreciate it, but in order for them to do their job, I think upgrades to that fleet is necessary, so we'll continue to do that. But thank you, Chief, for getting this in before the end of the year. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 15, filling a Conservation Board vacancy.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you, John. This resolution would fill a vacancy on the Conservation Board with Kimmy Romeo, someone who's previously served on the Conservation Board, someone who we had expressed faith to actually chair our Planning Board, but unfortunately a professional conflict, really a scheduling conflict with her professional career required her to step down from Planning Board, but she expressed an interest in continuing to serve the town, and she was a terrific member of our Conservation Board, and we're happy to bring her back full circle. So I'm happy to advance this resolution. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 16, authorizing adoption of the operating budget for the year 2017.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second.
Second.
Thank you. This is the culmination of the 2017 budget process. A little anticlimactic, I'll say, but it's a lengthy process that started with myself working with our department heads and formulating the tentative town budget, which was presented to the board last month. It's a budget that does not raise the tax rate, but as I say, residents are right and just to ask the question, what am I getting in return for that no tax increase? So I'm happy to just highlight some of the things that we're investing in the town. We swore in a new police officer earlier in the meeting. We're actually adding another full-time funded position to the police department to get us up to a level we haven't been in several years, and we continue to try to get that census back up. We're going to have a capital plan that will in effect double our paving budget. Residents, one of the things we hear loud and clear is a demand or a need to make upgrades to our infrastructure, which we will continue to do. I'm proud that it includes $25,000 in money for the Neighborhood Enhancement Program. We had dozens of great applications that came before the board last month from neighborhoods that we're happy to fund that will make really great enrichment additions to those neighborhoods. And above all, this continues really a sound fiscal management of the town. I'm happy to say that our town's fiscal health is strong, much to the good work of Comptroller Seeley and her staff. But the Comptroller comes up with a fiscal stress test, and we're one of the lowest municipalities in Monroe County, which is a good thing. Some of our cohorts you might think are in healthier position. We actually have a better fiscal health. As ranked by the Comptroller. Our bond rating was elevated 2 years ago and continues to do that. So I'm proud of this budget. I think we're in a good place financially, and we'll continue to look for ways to provide a return on the taxes that residents pay. And again, residents are right to ask, what am I getting in return? And we try to answer that question with a budget that makes solid investments throughout the town. Any questions or comments? And I will also just like to thank the board members for their work on this. I noted we advanced the budget to the board in October. We then held a series of workshops, spent several hours meeting with department heads and the board to be briefed on the budget. The board had good questions. The staff is always terrific, knowing their budgets very well and being able to provide instant feedback to the board. And we had a public hearing last week where residents had the opportunity to chime in on the budget. And it's a very good, transparent process. I'm proud of it. And again, I'd like to thank Ms. Seeley for her hard work as well as the work of the staff throughout Town Hall. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted.
Item number 17, authorizing surety, form, and amount of official undertaking for the faithful performance of the duties of the town clerk and receiver of taxes and assessments.
Motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
This is an annual resolution we pass. It is self-explanatory through the title of it. I will entertain any questions or comments. Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. This concludes the previously scheduled body of work, but I will now, pursuant to Section 105 of the New York State Open Meetings Law, move that we enter into executive session to discuss current litigation as well as the matters leading to the discipline of a particular person. May I have a motion?
Moved.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We will be back shortly. amendment to our agenda. The board discussed a matter that had come before the town. On November 4th, the town was served by a petitioner, a town resident, and we are authorizing through this resolution that I will advance, we're authorizing our counsel, Harder Seacrest and Emery LLP, to answer the verified petition and to do all things necessary and desirable to defend the town, including, but not limited to, asserting counterclaims, asking the court for any and all relief available to the town, and appearing as the attorney for the town. So I offer this following resolution authorizing legal action. Do I have a motion? And a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Resolution is adopted. And Madam Clerk, you have a copy of the resolution? Thank you. Okay, this concludes the body of work tonight. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
And a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.
We hope you enjoyed this presentation of the Irondequoit Town Board on ICAT 12, Irondequoit's government access channel.